in the fall, I believe it's in October, Lamar is supposed to have the corrective action plan, his assessment of the system, ready for you and TDEC to review. At that point in time, we'll have a much better idea of the entirety of what we've got to do to meet the TDEC order. A significant milestone we'll schedule for fall. FOG program. We haven't talked about it as much as we need to. We will talk about it more. But one of the things we have in terms of the needs to take care of our system is to keep grease out of the lines. We will have to implement a program that keeps, particularly restaurants, but other areas that generate grease, and putting that into the lines and maintaining those systems that do that. So this is a program we're going to have to develop and implement, and we'll be talking to you late summer about that. We've already touched on, but not gotten into the issue in detail, about laterals, the lines going from the house to the main line for your sewer system. If they are letting rainwater get into the system, that's causing problems for us. We will be dealing with that in the coming year. And finally, we've got to have a discussion about the long-term future of management of the sewer system. City, MUS, some other way. We've got to have that discussion in the coming year so we can make plans on how we're going to manage our system. So we've got a pretty healthy list of items in the coming year we're going to have to talk about when it comes to sewer.
Tony, on that first one there about the sewer contract.
Yes.
Is it up in June?
July.
Are we going to talk about it when? You said?
With this budget. We'll be talking about it in June. Late May, early June. Okay, stormwater. You approved $5 million in the bond issue for stormwater projects. You have in the budget before you a draft list of the first phase of those projects, about $3 million. This will be one of the things we're going to sit down and talk in our overall capital planning, talk about which projects you need to do first, which are your highest priority, and make a plan so that we can tell people, yes, your problem's on our list, we plan to get to it 2 years down the road. Or we looked at our money, and unfortunately, your project didn't make the list, and you're going to have to wait 4 years or 5 years until we get resources to take care of it. We've got some very substantial needs out there, and we're going to do some workshop planning in terms of how we're going to spend those resources, how we're going to address the problems. So again, a major capital to do thing in the coming year. Lamp tub, and I'll just throw this in, there's not a significant financial issue with regard to it, but our bus service is not well received by the community. It's not widely used, it's not widely known of, but in terms of ease and quality, people do not consider it to be a very useful resource. I'm not sure how we do that better, but it is something you should be aware of. Block grant is a program that's funded by HUD, Housing and Urban Development. So I'm going to throw up the cost of housing. This is a troubling slide from our survey. Nearly 44% of our population are spending more than 30% of their income for housing. That is a stress level that is higher than average by far, and is an indicator of some significant economic trouble with a good part of our population. So that's a concern we need to be aware of in terms of housing stock and our ability to pay. Housing quality, we did not so well on availability of options and affordable housing. Again, something that the HUD people would like to see us do better. We'd all like to see us be able to do better. It's something that we've got to look at for the long term as we evaluate economic development for our community. Okay, through the entire presentation I've said we'll get to this. This is, once we get this plan budget adopted, I hope to sit down with you and put a calendar together for the coming year. and say, in July, we're going to talk about capital improvements for streets and stormwater. And in October, we're going to talk about sewer needs in terms of the capital and fog program. I want these issues to stay on the radar. I want us to be able to come back, schedule time to sit down and make reasoned decisions about where we're going. And I think these are the issues that we're going to have to focus on in the coming year. This is how we're going to get to be where we want to be. So, our challenge today is to make an ambitious plan. Get it done and let people know we got it done. People need to understand the value they're getting for the tax dollars. So we've got to reach out and stretch and let people know what we're doing. We are going to be the community that others wish they could be. And that's the overall objective here, to stretch, to grow, and to develop additional community pride and people understanding what it is we're trying to get done on their behalf with their resources. That is my dog and pony show for the budget. As I told you before, it is significantly different from what I've done in the past. I usually spend a lot of time on dollars and cents, income, outcome. If you look at the budget document in front of you and look at the transmittal letter, you'll find that sort of stuff that I normally do. You'll find a lot of the kinds of sources of income, why it's going up, why it's going down. The document has a lot of detailed information. Take some time, absorb that, and get back to it. But I think that the first thing I'd like to ask us to do is to schedule a time to talk about those agencies in that big blue notebook you've got there. I think you need to look at that, look at the list of agencies that we're funding, and think about when you're comfortable with those and the level we're funding them, or how we make those decisions. I think that's something that's difficult for staff to do. We're going to ask for your input. So I would hope in the next, well, this month, we're able to get through whatever questions you have on the things we propose to fund, agency issues, and then get back to the wastewater contract and the airport contract and try and get those things out of the way as soon as possible. So that's my game plan. Like I said, we've got a lot of stuff that I hope we'll be able to get to in the coming year. Hopefully this gives you some idea of why we made the decisions we have in terms of making the presentation. I feel like it's a good plan, and hopefully it's one that you'll be able to endorse here shortly. So, question, comments?
Rebuilding the police cars is not one of my great faults. I've experienced that. I've been in business 35 years. It just don't pay off. It never did for me. Of course, our plan that they've got may be above and beyond because, you know, the technicalities will come in and new things have arrived. But when you rebuild something new, there's something old left.
You're right.
And that old is not going to perform with that new you put in. You're only putting a Band-Aid on the problem. If you can do anything other than what you're talking about, a couple, 2 or 3 vehicles. Now, if these vehicles are not going to be road buggies, different rates of speed, stopping, running 24 hours a day and whatever, they might make a difference. But now, if you're going to put your hands to the plow, you're wasting your time and your money because it will only put a Band-Aid on it. I tried it for different times. We bought motors. We put the motors in. We put transmissions in. We put shocks on. We put all kinds of different tie rods, new tires, new wheels, different things. But you still got an old vehicle, interiorly, your seats, all the mechanisms. It's just a Band-Aid.
discussed and cussed that issue back and forth a lot. There are certainly folks in the team that agree with you. Benny thinks he can do something with it. What I'm proposing to do is take one of the staff vehicles, not a frontline patrol vehicle, and try and see how it works. But by the end of, before July, we should be able to go out, put our hands on it and see, do you want that as a frontline patrol car going on an emergency run call? I think that's an excellent point and something that, and if y'all don't want to do it at all, if you don't have confidence in it, we can just go back straight and buy 7 replacements.
Just an experiment anyway, right?
The $6,000 experiment.
Could that car be used for the codes officer?
Right, it could be used, the car that I think we want to do is actually be one of the staff vehicles that's not even a regular patrol, it would be special use. It wouldn't be an emergency first responder car. Then we'll see what we got. But I understand your concerns.
The 7 new, I agree, thirds. We need to keep good vehicles. And some of our low rating right there was in that field.
Right.
But we need to keep the equipment, and I'm proud of what you've done in equipment replacements. Very, very, very good. And but you've got to give a person a tool, like you said.
That's right.
You can give the best carpenter in Morristown a job, but if you don't give him a hammer and saw, he's not going to put a house together.
That's right. Well, I think that's, well, I'll tell you, the guys did a good job in terms of what they asked for. We didn't come close to getting what they need.
Right.
We made a good step in that direction. So yeah, I appreciate what you're saying.
Okay.
Well, now, like I said, teach your kid to sing. I've not done my normal dog and pony show in terms of all the dollars. I can do it again. If you want to see that, I'll come back and talk about all the pretty slides and pictures about dollars coming in and out. But I think it's in the book. I think it's there. I think you've got a good plan. But whatever y'all need to be comfortable with what's there, be able to make a decision, we're ready to do. What I would like to be able to do is be able to have first reading on the budget, first meeting in June. That means this month, we've got to get it done. We've got to be comfortable, we've got to make the decision. So if we're going to talk about agencies, it would be good to be able to leave the room today with a time and a date we're going to talk about them. Put that to rest and then see what other questions that y'all have and might need to deal with. And then please let us schedule that first reading for first meeting in June.
I'll just throw out Tuesday the 8th. That is the weekend.
Work session.
Tuesday as a work session on the 8th.
Just so you know, that is the planning commission day. They have a land use plan scheduled for work session meeting that day as well. That Bob just be involved in that.
You do a morning meeting on that day?
11:30 meeting, 4 o'clock.
Monday at 9 o'clock.
I think you could work around it, put that on you if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted you to know that they already had that plan. I didn't work.
Was that too much for you, Tony?
At this point, if you're talking about agencies, I'm listening. So we just need y'all to look at it, think about it.
Tuesday afternoon, evening?
Tuesday,
I think that would be overall 1 and 1/3. So if you plan to put in 2, that would be Lynn.
Tony, I mean, you're really pushing this blue book here. Are you wanting to do some cuts in it?
I don't know that that's an administrative decision. I think that's more a political policy decision. I think you're spending $250,000 outside the organization that you need to be comfortable with. It wouldn't, I think you could make some cuts there and not hurt things, but it's not going to be an easy thing to do.
Well, one thing about it, we need to know where the money's going.
That's right.
In case we don't.
So I just want you to look at it and make sure you're aware of it and comfortable with it.
Would the next week be better for everybody to give you a longer time to look at it?
Right.
Would 14th then, Tony, that would push us to the next week.
No, I mean, I'd like to look at it, which week we're talking about.
Oh,
I think if you're giving it two on the eighth, you would have plenty of time. Which way was it, most of, I was ready, you're right.
okay. Work on your comment cover here.
But Wednesday the ninth.
Try that afternoon. Does that work for anyone, Wednesday nights? No? Thursday, I'll be happy if you all go. I'm headed to Junior Tech. I'm going to throw up a graduation celebration, tear up a tuition ticket, do some other things, so. But,
Burn it up.
yeah, that's right.
Hey,
But-
how about the 18th? That's not the week you want. Let's do the 18th, anytime after 9 a.m.
What day is that on?
Friday. So graveyard day for school.
Do it morning, afternoon, what do you want?
Anytime after 9 a.m.
What about you, Jane? You don't want lunch, for sure.
9:30.
9's good.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, Friday, 18th. Agencies and any questions you may have, send them to me. We'll see if we can't have answers by then. Does that work?
Sure.
Somebody write that down. You don't have to pay it. Okay. Larry's got it.
Larry's got it.
Well, we can discuss other things besides just Bluewood, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. If you have questions, you can get it to me. I'm trying to jam. If we're going to the 18th, we can do research. Let me know, let Larry know, and we'll see what we can do.
Where we gonna meet?
Yeah, I think back to City Hall, City Center. Yeah, I'm still,
It's okay.
too many years at City Hall.
It's okay, bro. We talk with it.
Home, based on the time we spend there, it could just be home. Well, folks, I do appreciate it. I know it's dry. Hopefully it was informative. Hopefully feel like we've done a reasonable job laying out the issue.
We need to thank you very much. You did a good job. You take under consideration.
Well, I appreciate it. We'll try hard. Like I said, it's a team. I stand up and talk, but there's a lot of people putting a lot into it.
Sure that girl passed the finals?
No. I talked to her about a quiz just last night, so we're hoping.
Good.
Did you have?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I forgot.